Nicole Kidman just dropped a bombshell that Hollywood insiders are calling career-shattering. And you are not ready for this. What if I told you that the golden couple image of Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban was just a sparkling facade hiding a nightmare behind closed doors? Was it really busy schedules that tore them apart, or something far darker, far more shocking than tabloids dared to print? Sources whisper about secret deals, emotional manipulation, and power plays that would make Machiavelli proud. Could the woman we thought was the epitome of grace and glamour have actually been trapped in a web of control? Carefully orchestrated by the man the world still calls a country sweetheart? And now, after years of silence, Nicole is finally speaking, but what she revealed isn't just divorce drama. It's a scandal that threatens to rewrite everything we thought we knew about fame, fortune, and love in Hollywood. Buckle up, because what comes next is messy. It's shocking, and it's absolutely going to make you question everything you believed about one of the most perfect couples in showbiz. History. The story behind Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's so-called fairy tale is far from what the cameras showed. To the world, they were Hollywood royalty, walking red carpets, smiling for the paparazzi. Hand in hand, like love itself had personally endorsed them. But insiders tell a different story, one that's messy, manipulative, and downright shocking. Nicole, the award-winning actress adored worldwide, wasn't just playing a glamorous wife. She was holding together the very foundation of Keith's empire. Sources whispered that she was quietly funding his early career moves, cushioning emotional meltdowns, and essentially acting as the calm in a storm that no one outside their inner circle could ever imagine. And yet, the facade cracked slowly, almost imperceptibly. At first, it was subtle: the late-night studio sessions, the increasingly staged appearances, the chilling distance in private moments that fans couldn't see. But those closest to the couple noticed the cracks, the silent battles over control, attention, and recognition. Nicole, for years, had been the pillar of Keith's career, while her own ambitions quietly collected dust. A reality few dared to acknowledge. Then came the whispers that would set the rumor mill on fire. Anonymous insiders claimed Keith's obsession with perfection had spiraled into full-blown control issues. Allegedly, he would call Nicole in the middle of the night demanding she post about his music releases or attend events to bolster his public image. It wasn't about love anymore. These sources claimed it was about optics, appearances, and managing a narrative that made him look flawless while quietly suffocating his wife's presence. Nicole, the ever-graceful star, reportedly started skipping events not out of apathy, but out of sheer exhaustion from pretending to be the supportive wife in a marriage that had stopped feeling like one. Her silence, insiders say, wasn't passive. It was a loud statement in itself. And as her patience frayed, the tension in the household reached a tipping point. The allegations didn't stop there. Reports allegedly leaked from inside Keith's management hinted at connections with up-and-coming singers, business deals shrouded in secrecy, and a level of financial manipulation that would make even the shadiest reality show villain blush. Nicole, ever the professional, didn't publicly confront these claims. But sources suggest she quietly gathered evidence, documents, and proof that something was profoundly wrong beneath the glittering surface. Therapy sessions, private retreats, and countless attempts at salvaging the marriage reportedly fell flat against Keith's growing obsession with image over intimacy. Friends close to Nicole claimed she realized that staying silent was no longer safe, not for her reputation, not for her sanity. The golden smile of Hollywood's favorite couple was cracking, and Nicole was ready to step out of the shadow, fully aware that leaving would be a move as calculated as it was courageous. And here's where things take a darker turn. Insiders allege that Nicole's departure wasn't just emotional, it was strategic. Beyond heartbreak, she allegedly had access to financial discrepancies, documents, and secrets that could unravel Keith's carefully curated public persona. Whether these involved hidden investments, undisclosed contracts, or hush money agreements, nobody can say for sure, but it painted a picture of a woman who wasn't just walking away from love. She was reclaiming control over her life, her legacy, and possibly the truth that the world wasn't ready to hear. Nicole's silence became her shield and her eventual freedom. Her weapon. As Nicole stepped away from the facade of a perfect marriage, the world began to notice subtle changes in her behavior and in Keith's carefully crafted image. While the public still saw smiles and red carpet glamour, insiders reported a mounting tension behind closed doors. Allegedly, Keith's obsession with controlling every detail of their lives extended beyond appearances. Sources claimed he monitored social media, scrutinized every post, and orchestrated events to ensure that Nicole's visibility served his narrative rather than her own. Fans, of course, assumed this was just celebrity business, but those closest to the couple knew it was far more sinister. Nicole's grace and composure, insiders say, masked the mounting frustration of a woman who had been relegated to the supporting role in a story that was supposed to be hers too. Leaked documents and alleged emails reportedly showed a meticulous pattern. Instructions to staff on how to redirect attention, minimize her contributions, and keep public perception aligned with Keith's image of perfection. Anonymous sources claim that these communications weren't trivial. They included detailed strategies about her public appearances, her charitable contributions, and even how her statements in interviews could be spun to support him. Meanwhile, Nicole was quietly observing, cataloging, and planning her exit with precision. The whispers suggest she realized that walking away wouldn't just save her emotionally. It would protect her professionally and strategically expose the cracks in Keith's empire. Public reactions, of course, were immediate and relentless once the first hints of scandal leaked. Fans were divided. Some accused Nicole of manipulation. Others began to question Keith's image as the sweet, unassuming country superstar. On social media, hashtags exploded, dissecting every move, every word, every Instagram caption as if they contained secret messages from a woman reclaiming her narrative. Celebrity gossip forums buzzed with speculation about hidden money, secret foundations, and emotional manipulation. In short, the narrative had shifted, and for the first time, the world was beginning to see cracks in the storybook romance everyone had been fed for years. Meanwhile, Nicole's post-divorce resurgence was impossible to ignore. Reports claim she threw herself into her work, humanitarian projects, and selective public appearances, creating a new image that was powerful, independent, and untouchable. At the same time, Keith's public statements, carefully measured and rehearsed, reportedly couldn't hide the tension behind the polished veneer. Sources alleged missteps, cancellations, and sudden retreats from public events. Small cracks that hinted at a man struggling to maintain control over a narrative that was no longer his to dominate. It wasn't just heartbreak. It was a battle for legacy, perception, and, insiders say, control over finances and influence that Nicole had quietly accumulated while playing the perfect wife. And then came the final push. Allegedly, Nicole had gathered everything she needed not to expose Keith publicly. Not to seek revenge, but to assert her independence and protect her future. Leaked reports hint at strategic moves, subtle public appearances, and carefully timed actions that demonstrated power without uttering a word. While Keith was still performing and giving interviews, Nicole's quiet revolution had already begun to ripple through Hollywood. Friends close to her claimed that she had finally realized what many in the inner circle already suspected. Sometimes the loudest power is silence, and sometimes walking away is the most disruptive act of all. As the dust settled, the true fallout of Nicole's departure began to emerge. What the public saw as a mutual, amicable split was anything but. Insiders alleged it was a calculated unraveling, strategic withdrawal that left Keith scrambling to maintain a facade of control. Leaked messages and anonymous reports suggested that Keith had attempted to contain potential exposure, issuing instructions to PR teams, legal advisors, and management staff on how to spin the divorce in his favor. But by then, it was too late. Nicole had quietly taken the narrative, redirecting attention to her projects, philanthropy, and personal growth, leaving Keith to wrestle with the public perception of a man losing grip on his own story. Fans reacted explosively. Social media became a battleground of interpretation, memes, and viral speculation. Every red carpet appearance of Nicole was dissected. Every tweet from Keith was analyzed for hidden meaning. And the public frenzy only fueled the perception that something monumental had shifted behind the scenes. Anonymous sources claim that even industry insiders who once praised Keith began quietly distancing themselves, hesitant to be associated with a man whose polished image was cracking. Meanwhile, Nicole's influence appeared to be expanding, her foundation work gaining global attention, her film projects breaking box office expectations, and her every move perceived as a statement of resilience and power. The statement of resilience and power. The financial implications, according to alleged insiders, were equally dramatic. Nicole reportedly had access to documents and contracts that revealed questionable financial arrangements, hidden accounts, and mismanaged funds that had been quietly linked to Keith's empire. While the legality remained murky, the optics were explosive. Hypothetical audits, potential probes, and whispered threats of legal action created a climate of tension that Hollywood had rarely witnessed. And while Keith continued touring and releasing music, the narrative of control, manipulation, and oversight that had defined his marriage was now the story dominating headlines. Every misstep, every cancellation, every awkward interview amplified the impression that Nicole had not only left him emotionally, but had outmaneuvered him strategically. Yet, Nicole never needed to shout. Her silence was her loudest statement. Sources claim she had deliberately avoided public spats, media calls, and social media drama, letting her accomplishments and calm presence speak volumes. Meanwhile, Keith's attempts at public redemption, carefully timed interviews, symbolic performances, and even new songs hinting at lost love were framed by commentators as desperate attempts to regain control. Insider speculation suggested that these efforts only reinforced Nicole's narrative, turning his struggle into a cautionary tale about the consequences of underestimating a partner who had quietly been carrying both love and ambition for years. Ultimately, the saga became more than a celebrity divorce. It became a study in power, perception, and the art of reclaiming control. Nicole's quiet empowerment contrasted sharply with Keith's frantic efforts to manage optics, creating a story that was as much about survival as it was about scandal. Friends and anonymous sources claim that her departure and strategic silence not only transformed her public image, but reshaped how Hollywood viewed personal agency, influence, and narrative control. By the time the world realized what had truly happened, Nicole had already walked far ahead, leaving Keith to deal with the remnants of a story he thought he had written. The golden couple had fallen, and the moral insiders say, was clear. While one played the song, the other conducted the symphony. What do you think? Was Nicole the mastermind behind this quiet revolution? Or is there more to Keith's side of the story? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let the debate explode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the next shocking truth we uncover.